All right, guys, welcome in, welcome back. You found us above ground world news on a Monday night. At least I think it's Monday. Is it Monday? Oh man, days are going by. Can't even hardly keep up with all the news coming out. But we got a lot we got to get into. We got some bigger things that may be going on. And when I show you what's this site here, I'm over here on FedBook, and here is the Sonoma County firestorm update. And I was looking down through here. People are running out of food. Things are getting ready to get really hectic over here. But what I want to show you is the staging area. It doesn't come out very big. Let me get down here to it. With all these fire trucks, I mean, it is nuts. Let me try to find it here. I had it there in the beginning intro, but it just come out too small. And hopefully it's still here. Here we go. Let's see if I can make this full screen. Oh, that ain't full screen. Here we go. Still not full screen. Alright, if you can see all these fire trucks, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of fire trucks. Now to me, this looks like they're setting up for something much bigger than a forest fire. So we're going to try to get into that tonight. Hopefully everybody is doing okay. If you're out here in the West Coast, hopefully you have food and somewhere warm to stay, because its temperatures are dropping. The firefighters out here are having to go buy coats because it's getting cold. Anyway, just wanted to show just how many fire trucks are staged out here, water trucks. I mean, just an insane amount. And hopefully that's coming in good enough for you guys. I couldn't make it no bigger, so. All right, let's go ahead and get out of that. All right, we're just going to jump into a few articles here, and then we're going to get into all the other stuff. Yeah, it looks more like a military operations going on, or something much bigger, which we'll get into tonight. So I wanted to show you this. I don't know, I guess I missed this a couple months ago, but there was this giant landslide that caused a highway just like, it was like collapsed like 300 yards or 300 feet, the size of a football field. It just dropped. So it's still not fixed, but I just want to, you know, all these little articles I'm kind of hit right here kind of go into what we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit. So this comes out, California governor expands the emergency declaration for the whole state of California. I mean, what in the heck is going on out here? And when we look at the maps, it'll kind of blow your mind, because the fires keep going way down. And then you got news like this: California wants to analyze your child for trauma before even entering school. So parents of California need to be on alert. The Newsom administration is going to demand that before your child enters school, they must go through a screening for childhood trauma. This will not be done by someone you choose, but by the government. If a child talks about going to church or believing that abortion is murder, the government could consider that a childhood trauma. In the extreme, take the child from the parents. If you thought the government mandating that poisons be put into your child was bad, this is a million times worse. So it's just getting insane out here. And I reported earlier, when I was watching some of the mainstream news, they were saying that the migrants were on the front lines of the fires. It was multiple mainstream news was saying that the migrants were the ones on the front lines fighting the fires. Then you'd have the sheriff coming on there saying there will be no immigration. You know, they're not going to be trying to pick anybody up for immigration. So just some weird stuff going on. Then you got to think, you know, I don't really, I think all the left and the right here, as far as the politics, I think they're all one entity. You know, it's this different wing on the same bird. But when you see this, and it seems like they're trying to make everybody leave California, you know, not the people of Hollywood, but all the regular people. It's like they're trying to run them out, bring all the illegals in, and what that would do is push all their Democratic voters out across the other states to try to take over the other states. I mean, that's just my mind just kind of blabbing away on that stuff. Now, I wanted to show you guys that this PG&E, I mean, most of you guys have already seen this, but I have to show this because PG&E is not only your light company, it's not only your gas company, but they also do precipitation enhancement. This is the California Department of Water Resources, come out on July 29, 2016. They can enhance the rainfall. They have control of the weather, so why wouldn't they put the fires out? Well, whatever they're doing, they're needing to keep it dry out there. You know, whether it's putting in the 5G infrastructure, taking away the land for the high-speed railways, you know, something much bigger is going on. But right here you can see all the people that are doing the weather modification here in California. You got the California Department of Water Resources, California Energy Commission, the National Center for Atmospheric Research, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the Naval Research Council, Pacific Gas and Electric Company, just tons of people. And they talk about all the stuff that they do to modify the rain, the snow, and all that stuff. You know, they even talk about modification efforts in China in the 2008 Olympics did not go unnoticed, so let us do it. You know, Australia does the same thing. They talk about Australia doing it. Well, they're doing it above your skies every day. There's complete control of the weather. There's no such thing as natural weather. We've already found all the companies that modify the rainfall amounts, where the atmospheric rivers in the sky go, who gets the grain, who gets the drought. It's all pre-planned and all that stuff. Let me get a drink here. Now it's raining here, so hopefully our stream does not screw up here. Now, after looking at all the data here over the last couple of days, I'm really starting to wonder, you know, not only does PG&E do the weather modification, not only do they do the gas, not only do they do the electric, they also do the electric from out in space. They are beaming down 200 megawatts of microwave energy from space down to their converters down on ground. But that makes me wonder, you know, all these fires that are going on, we're also getting earthquakes in the same areas. And if we just go back in July here, remember what happened down here in the Ridgecrest area. You know, we had this whole area has moved like 40 centimeters, and you got a big crack going across the whole area here. And that was from the, I think it was like a 7.3 quake, or it was somewhere around there. So you got all the earthquake stuff going on. You have all the fracking. I mean, look at the displacement of the ground out here. You can see that it's just completely has changed. And then just yesterday, remember off the coast of Oregon, the hot spot out in the water, we zoomed down in there. It looked like a volcano underwater, not a marked volcano, but we had a 5.3 earthquake right off the coast, right where the hot spot was. So we have something is going on underneath the plates. So pretty crazy stuff going on. And I just wanted to kind of go back at some of the older articles. Here's one Earthquake warning, ring of fire, unrest could lead to the big one in California. See, all the news lately over the last couple of years have been coming out about the seismic, things going on in California. Well, if you factor in all the high frequencies that they're beaming down to the VLF transmitters, which is turning it into low frequencies, super low and extra low frequencies can cause earthquakes, just like a ground penetrating radar can cause like a 4.7 earthquake. Well, they're doing the same thing from all their satellite systems, cell phone towers, whatever they're using. Back in July 8, 2 major earthquake strikes in 2 days. Ridgecrest, the Ridgecrest area has had thousands and thousands of quakes over the last couple months. So earthquake shook LA skyscraper so hard people got vertigo. This was back in August. So something is picking up. And then if you go all the way back to 2016, on the video I did of this mass methane leak that come out of the whole West Coast, all the way up through British Columbia. And to me, when I seen this, I don't know that this is a precursor to a big earthquake, but to me it's like this was like the oil down into the plates, and it all got pumped out in one big blast back in 2016. So all this methane that was down in the ground just all come out at once. So now it's like dried up, like there's no oil in there. And then you take all the fracking that's going on. I mean, this whole area is volcanic. So freaky stuff going on. And when you see that much activity that's going on out there, it's just pretty crazy stuff. And then you have this food shortage get ready to happen from the solar minimum, and all the pigs are being wiped out, man. There's an outbreak, and we've reported on this before, but the African swine fever is killing millions upon millions of pigs all over the world. This epidemic started last year. We're talking like 0.25% of all the pork in the world. So, I mean, and this is going to play a factor on everybody. I mean, people probably don't know, all the stuff these hogs and stuff are used for, but it goes into all kinds of things, clothes, food, everything. That's going to be a big factor on food prices. Well, I keep saying that Australia is going through the same thing as the West Coast. Well, guess what? Fire evacuation drill in Victoria prepares entire towns for summer brush fire season. See, they're putting a railway system in this area. They're going through the same thing. They have the weather modification going on down there that's completely out of control. You have the fires. Same thing. They're planning on the evacuations. This is a worldwide event. This is a new world order deal. Now, I was going to show you this, but I'm not going to subscribe to this. And why does the New York Times say support independent journalism? Like, you got to try to give them your, you either got to log in or pay or something. But what they're talking about on this article was the pilots. We already know they're out there spraying us like bugs, but they're not just regular pilots, man. They're all perverts and stuff. So they were filming people that was going in the bathroom. They had a camera set up in the bathroom, then mounted in the cockpit so they could watch the people go to the bathroom. I mean, these people are nuts. I showed you the articles on the U.S. forces and what all they're training for, calling this climate crisis, climate change BS. So now they're coming out with the U.S. forces must seize the Arctic because of the climate change. U.S. Army report. This actually has the article that we went over last night in it. So this just come out. And It's not just distribution, but power generation at risk. One of the 99 nuclear reactors operating in the U.S., providing nearly 20% of the county's power. 60% are located in regions that are likely to suffer from more than one climate threats. You know, they said from sea level rise, but when you go look at the document, they're not going to do anything with sea level rise. They're just going to monitor it because it's not happening. Sea level rise will never happen. Even if the ice melts, it's not going to raise the sea level. That's just a big lie. Now we had some, we got these new secret B-2s. They're drones that flew over the North Pole and Area 51 during some tests. Now, I thought these are some Russian planes. Let me look here. So 7 new unmanned aerial vehicles specifically designed to conduct reconnaissance in areas with restricted access have entered surface at the U.S. Air Force. Dubbed the RQ-180, the advanced UAV become fully operational. Recently reformed 427th Reconnaissance Squadron at Beale Air Force Base in California. So we got these things flying all around up in the sky, you know, filming us and mapping. They're doing all the K mapping. There's something big going on. Then you see this with the military. 541 military service members have died by suicide in 2018. I mean, that is crazy. All right, so now we're going to get into this. Man, don't look like the stream's doing very good there. All right, now we're going to get into this UN deal here. So let me play a little clip of this.
This is my city, and so I have a right to film.
This is United Nations compound?
United Nations compound?
Yes.
This is a compound?
Yeah. Since Sunday evening, we took over this compound. This is international territory.
So they're saying since Sunday, they took over the Salt Lake City. They were calling it a compound. They took it over. When did this video come out? October 24th, so just a couple days ago. So I got this link in the description. I also have Stop the United Nations link, sign the petition link. This is all down in the description. What the hell are they doing? Taking over our buildings. They need to be took out of here. So there's some information for you on this. Like I said, all these links are in the show links. Click them, check it out, and let's get the ball rolling. All right, I gotta go give a little shout out here over to Activist Post. The article just come out today. Operational Regionalization of America by Roseanne Lindsay, Neuropath. Well, anyway, they highlighted a lot of our work on here. Just from the last few, some of the shows we've done here. So you guys might want to check that out here. I'll post this link in the chat. And let me put it into the, make sure I got that in the show links. Make sure I put them in there. Yeah, them are in there. All right, we'll post that and make sure it's in there. So good article. Check it out. Talks about all kinds of stuff there. All right, one more thing, and then I think we can get into the maps. All right, guys, here is a PDF, and I'm not sure how to share the PDF. Maybe I'll post it on the Facebook or something. But preliminary experimental evaluation of SNOMAX. It's a snow inducer, artificial ice nucleus for weather modification. Now, remember, we just reported last night on some of the hail that happened down in Australia wouldn't melt. It didn't melt after 2 weeks in the scorching sun. Some people were thinking it was some of the 1080 mixed in with the man-made ice. But yeah, here was just a PDF somebody sent me, and I don't think I had this one. So it talks all how to do it. It's called Snowmax Ice Nucleation Studies. Snowmax is an ice nucleating aerosol. So if you want to know why the hell is not melting, it's because it's man-made. It's been like that for a long time. I'm trying to see if there's a date on this thing. 1989. Ice is a glacionic seeding agent. So there you go. There's just another nail in the coffin. Oh yeah, one more article here. Let me get a drink. My throat's all messed up. It's raining. We got clouds on the ground here in Missouri. Toxic clouds. All right, the new Navy weather models for revolutionizing forecasting. So this just come out today. So the Stennis Space Center, Mississippi, a new generation of numerical weather models is poised to give Navy sailors improved capability with a clear, sharper focus, creating a long-range accuracy which gives the Navy an advantage in ship and safety and electromagnetic warfare through more accurate forecasts. So here's some more technology that they'll be using to control the weather using the electromagnetics. So I mean, all these articles are in the thing if you want to get in there and check them all out. So let's take a look at this fire. I got this on the, let me put this on the natural fire color. Now it looked like the fires went out, like they're not flaming like they was. And then right here, let me look at this. So we got this set up on the last 36 hours. I got these images are 1 hour apart. So let's see if I can get this to scroll through here. Hey, thanks out there, Bamboo. Here, I got to slow this thing down. It just goes way too fast on its own. So I'm just going to click it 1 hour at a time. So we're going to see each frame represents 1 hour. And the fires are going to be over here. You'll see when it gets to daylight. Let me try to get it to the daylight so we can kind of get a starting point here. The bunker fuels are still being deployed. So I'm trying to get this to the daylight. I mean, 36 hours, so it's 36 images. So, all right, here we are. I don't know if you guys can see the timestamp here. I'm going to have to move it up so the timestamp is showing. I didn't realize it was under the breaking news there. All right, so let me try to fix this. Ah, come on. Wow, now it's going to freak out on us. All right. I don't know why this thing has to be such a pain in the butt. Like, what am I even hitting there? Let me get rid of that. All right, that might help. Yeah, I guarantee they're messing with my computer. Like, my mouse will hardly work. It's all delayed. Done everything I could to try to fix it, and it just don't work. All right, so now I got the timestamp in there. So right now we're at 10:28, 16:56 UTC time, and hopefully I can get this to go. Here we are, 18:06. Look at the fire has really gone down since yesterday. Here's 1911, even looks lighter. 2011, still going down. 2111, it's just getting smaller. Got some new smoke right there. 2311, and then it starts picking back up in a huge line. Now you can see the winds blowing out, but a huge line, and that's where that other hot spot was the other day. Here we are on 10:29. It's actually going into tomorrow. And then now we're back at 10:27, 12:41. So we'll go through the night here. So I just wanted to, yeah, the crazy thing about this computer issue is it's everything. It's my phone, it's my laptop, it's everything. You know they're hacked into there. Look, you see the aerosols down here in the southern part. Here's the fire back on the 27th, yesterday at 15:41. Here's 16:41. This is when it was really starting to fire up. Not sure how the smoke is going over there. You see the aerosols are still being deployed. See the wind kind of shifts back down. There's a new flume of smoke coming right where that gas place that exploded, the tanks that exploded. There's a brand new spot right there. This was at yesterday at 17:41 UTC time. Then it kind of dissipates again. You can see we have two fire zones going, 2 points. You see the chemtrails are starting to come in. So all through the day, this thing was just cooking away. So we're getting ready to come up on noon or midnight. Okay, so now we're at midnight. All right, so I just wanted to get that documented. So that we got that documented. We're going to get into the worldview map. Let's go ahead and check this real quick. And the thing is, it's not showing the hot spots no more. They're just not showing. I can try to put an enhancement on here. See if this will help us. So it is showing two little ones. That's it. But they got hundreds and hundreds of fire trucks there. We got some weird stuff going on right here. That is not normal. Let me back that up right there. I want you to watch this cloud right here. Is that a flume coming out of the ocean again? Right there. It just keeps emanating and kind of swirling right here. There's no low pressure here. We've seen on the news they were calling there was a low pressure. There's no low pressure whatsoever. It's all a high pressure system parked over this area. We got that documented good. Let's go ahead and get this back over. And we'll go ahead and load that up just so we can see where the aerosols are being deployed. Let me change this. Just want to do the just see where the bunker fuel operations are on this. Nice crowd out there. Hopefully everybody's doing good out there. And see if this will play. This thing is really finicky. We got a new aerosol disbursement right there in the Bajas, right where the other fire was. The aerosols and the fires go hand in hand. I mean, that's a fact. Yeah, I might take this a little bit to load. Oh, I got that in. That's why it looks so weird. I got the. Oh man. Got the enhancement on. That's why. Okay, now it looks more normal. I wanted to see if it's going to pick up the. Alright, I just got to wait on it to load. So you do have bunker fuel down here to the south and up to the north. The bunker fuel operations are moving north. Alright, let's jump on over here to the worldview map. And we can see the new spraying operation. Targeted sprays, tic-tac-toes going across. And the fire zone was just right up here. It's not coming in real clear. Let's see if the fires are wow, the fire's gone down here in Mexico. It's not even showing up. That's crazy. Okay. So it's showing some small fires here to the north of Los Angeles. And it's in a grid pattern again. Perfect grids. It's got to make you wonder, why are these fires in such grid patterns? If you were here last night, you just seen. In fact, I can bring that up here in a minute. So has the wind died down? Is that why this smoke is hardly drifting off anywhere? Like, we may have to check the wind models. Here's where that smoke was coming from. And that's real close to where the gas plants that exploded were, right over here. So that's a new spot. You can see they've already burned it all around that area. You know, this is a land grab, or it's something worse. Hey, thanks out there blazing the dirt. You know, when you back this out and then you look at all the fires going up, you know, the fault lines and the plates, I mean, it follows them exactly. And that's why you got to wonder, you know, what's going on underneath. Yesterday we had an earthquake out here today, but yesterday we had a flume of smoke that come up out here in the middle of the ocean. We zoomed down on it, and it looked like a volcanic butte. You know, this whole area is volcanoes, super volcanoes, constantly moving. So either, you know, whatever they're doing with the electromagnetics is causing some of this activity, or it could be actual just you know, normal shift movements. In fact, I wanted to check out the let's go check out the earthquakes. I know a big earthquake just hit in Indonesia. So let me try to see if I can bring this in here. I can't remember what scene I had it on.
Another question on the in an interview with the Los Angeles Times on April 21st, you said that you told the Associated Press that the American government has created weather tampering techniques so that the New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans and to control the rest. Would you explain what you were trying to say?
Well, what I was trying to say is exactly what I said. There is weather control techniques. We have a complete package on that, which I did not bring, but I certainly will see to it that it is brought in for the record. Number one, the entire patents on the equipment. Number two, Senator Claiborne Pell's complete statement and story of his own, that not only does it exist, but that we even utilize it as far back as the Vietnam War. You might want to touch base with Senator Pell.
I just want to repeat before I turn to
so yes, but we do have all that information.
You're saying the government has created weather tampering techniques so that the, quote, New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans.
Worldwide.
Millions of Americans, and to control the rest.
Yes, sir, and that's my belief. As bizarre as that sounds, if somebody had told me that that equipment even existed 10 years ago, I would have thought they were nuts, sir. And at this point in time, we have all the documents to prove it. And if you think that 85 tornadoes takes place in the middle of our growing area by simultaneous accident, I'm sorry. The equipment that's already set up internationally, and as bizarre as that is, it is proven and documented. We will supply you with those documents. As bizarre as that is, I would say that weather wars, and this is quoting actually Senator Claiborne Pell himself, that they are the greatest weapon ever created in the world, and that's the Senator's own statement. So yes, I do stand on that.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
All right, so there you go. That's not what I was trying to get to. Let's see if it pops up. There we go. Now we have the earthquakes. But that's a good clip to play, man. That's a good clip. You know, back in the 90s, they knew this stuff was going on also. You know, weather wars is going to be the final war. Because what's happening is they're steering the atmospheric rivers up in the troposphere. And when they do that, when they pull that and stretch that to another area, it affects another country. You can't, you know, if you're messing with the atmospheric river, if you're changing the currents of that river, it's affecting other places. That's what's causing droughts in other places, floods in places. So anyway, let's take a quick look at this. There was a big earthquake that just hit over here in Indonesia, 6.7. Looks like a very shallow quake. So yeah, that sucker was shallow. And then look right over here. We got swarming going on in the fire zone. Wonder if I can turn these things down so that we can get a better look at this here. Here, I'll just move it up. Try to knock some of these off. So there's the 5.3 still there on the map from yesterday. And look at it swarm out. Look at that. Look at all them quakes that are coming right off that quake. They're moving right down. So this is, you know, when you look at stuff like this, we had a deep quake up here. A small quake, but a deep one. We're looking at a 2.7, but deep. That usually leads to a larger quake. So you got a couple of them up off the globe a little ways. I can't get this thing to... My mouse is kind of messed up here. So look at all the seismic activity right now. So now you got the pressure from the 6.7 that's going to be coming around. So just to, you know, it's a heads up. We got earthquakes going on in Hawaii. You know, there's some stuff going on with the volcano out there. And if you put on, you know, like the last 7 days, it's just ridiculous. There's the last 7 days of seismic activity. Look at all the activity up around Alaska. I mean, that's insane. And you can see another earthquake just hit a 2.5 in California. So major earthquake stuff going on. Get that back down. So that's the most recent quake. Just happened right now. And guess what? It's just a little bit north of the fire. Not a whole lot north, but a little bit north. Fire is like right in there where my mouse is. If you can see that. So anyway, heads up, man. Heads up for the weather warfare. Heads up for the weather control, the earthquake, the seismic activity. Whatever the new world order is up to for that particular day. We might want to go check the mimic map real quick, and then we'll check the radars. Here's the man-made typhoon out here. Cyclone Kayar. If you guys watched the show the other day, the Middle East weather modification company, the weathergenerators.net, they turned the weather generator on, and guess what? They conjured up a cyclone. Hey, thanks out there, Jimmy. So let's take a look at the mimic. This is what I'm talking about, what we're getting ready to look at. This is the rivers of the sky. And I can actually show you guys a clip here. Why this is loading. Let me bring in a clip here. This clip will blow your mind. This is from a guy, and it's going to take me just a second to get this loaded. This is from a guy that does weather modification down in Australia. This year, he put the fires out down in Tasmania using his, you know, whatever, it's a ground-based radar is what he uses. But he pulled the moisture up from the atmospheric river. And it'll take me just a second here to find it. For some reason, it's not in alphabetical order here, so it's just going to take me a second to find it. So give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry, it's trying to find this. I had all these loaded, and then here, let's try this one. This might be it. Hey, thanks out there. Hold on.
We can bring in the oceanic rain, and we need to be conscious it's not about delivering rain on land, it's about nurturing a rain system that can promote agriculture and protect the people involved. So in all cases we want to make sure we don't get flooding, but we can deliver timely rain in a gentle soaking manner into agricultural targets.
Technology relies on a signal that we're able to generate that triggers a response from atmospheric patterns. So we're able to observe this using satellite meteorology, extensively available now to everyone who's got access to broadband internet. But we're able to utilize that signal set in sequence to generate a incremental deviation in the flow path of these oceanic atmospheric rivers. So the source is the ocean, of course. The vapor, precipitable moisture flow is in the atmosphere. The winds drive this with the pressure systems adjusting the path of least resistance. But our technology is able to interface that and hack into it, if you like, and makes micro adjustments to allow deviations to occur in the flow pathways. And this is how we broke the drought in Australia in 2005. This is how we put out the fires of Victoria from Black Saturday in 2009. This is how we delivered rain in the desert in Saudi Arabia in 2007 and snow for the first time in history in 2004 in United Arab Emirates. There's been other projects above the radar and some under the radar, but today for the first time we're putting our hand up in front of the media to say this is available. We're going to run this project here to break the drought in the Horn of Africa. We're meeting with Cabinet, Federal Cabinet for Kenya and the Prime Minister and other parties and authorities in the region. We've met extensively with United Nations teams and agencies, and we're planning to do this in the most careful manner. Firstly, to bring some gentle rain in to give food for the crop, food for the cattle and the livestock, so milk can be produced, so the human survivability can go up. Once that survivability's gone up, then we can look at more substantial rains that can be suitable for crop.
Oh, I messed it up.
Drawing oceanic rain systems that exist over the oceans into geographic targets, into our agricultural areas. The technology uses electromagnetics, so we're not interfering with the atmosphere or with the environment. We're not damaging it. We're not using chemicals fired through rockets like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology, launching electromagnetics into the atmosphere to modify the flow of the weather system over the ocean and drawing it into a target. So to try and keep it simple, we establish some kind of link with a weather system, and once we've seen through satellite meteorology that we have that link, we're able to draw that system in incrementally towards the target, such as in this case the Horn of Africa.
Mahendra, you call this project the Global Rain Project. Why the Global Rain Project?
Well, let me just step back. Ever since the beginning of civilization, mankind has diverted rivers on earth to wherever we wanted to practice agriculture. Now we look at the atmosphere. The oceanic, 90% of the rain, more than 90% of the rain falls on the ocean. It's only about less than 5% on earth. So the 90% that is above the oceans, these are fundamentally atmospheric rivers. And just the way we harvested rivers on earth, we should be harvesting now with new technology the rivers above the oceans and moving them to a target area.
There you go. You're not going to see that on CNN or Fox News. That's the real thing that's going on. Now, what we're looking at now, this is the atmospheric river. This is what they're steering. The perfect example was the Paradise Fires. California was in a 7-year drought. They burnt the place down. Then all of a sudden, they just steered this atmospheric river right over the target of Paradise, flooded away the evidence. Voila, evidence gone. So, pretty nuts, man. If you want to know why we're flooding, it's because the people are in control of this atmospheric river. There's a company out in the Middle East the global climate company, they're trying to bottle the water up and sell it to you by the barrel. They're going to hijack the rivers of the sky and make everybody pay for it. I'm going to take you to their website right now. This is called the climateglobal.net. The Climate Global Trading Company. Now, if you want to buy rainwater, you have to buy it in Climate Cron. It's a Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So you got seawater desalination technology, 1 cubic meter, $50. If you want cloud seeding technology, 1 cubic meter, $10. And see, even the people that modify the weather with the electromagnetics and the ionospheric heaters and all that, you know, the cloud ionizers and stuff, they all say chemical elements harmful to the environment and human health. They're talking about the cloud seeding technology. These guys are using, you know, the electromagnetics. Here was the, I mean, they've created cyclones. They brag about this stuff. They want to turn the desert green. I'll post this link in the chat out there if you guys want to dig into this company. We've seen what they could do this year back in May, let's see, March, when was it? May 20th? No, it was June 20th. June 20th, they took over for the company called the Weather Generators. Let me get them up here. They took over for 1 month, and they made it flood Iran. They had 90% of Iran underwater within 30 days. So here's the other company out of the Middle East, the Weather Generator Project. Now these guys have a YouTube channel. You can follow them. They document everything that they do. Rain Enhancement Project that will cover all the countries in the Middle East. The 27th, just yesterday. Kuwait, Iran region, Mecca. Here we go. 4 days ago, new corridor of rain 2019. The Dubai weather generator was switched on 24th of October 2019, 8 a.m. This is a special report. We want to give you full evidence that it rains in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and further Iran. This is going on worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. They tell you when they turn it off. They want people to see what they're doing. But, you know, you don't see this in any kind of American news, any kind of, you know, Europe news. They just don't talk about this. They keep it hid. You know, you got to wonder where the trillions of dollars that are missing are going to the weather modification business. Let's check out the, let's go check out the radars, just see if anything crazy is going on them. Now, what we do, we've been documenting all this stuff. We know the signatures of the clouds to look for when they're doing these experiments. That's how we learn. We watch them, watch what happened to the clouds. And, I mean, that's just how you got to do it. You got to do it by watching, observing, documenting, and that's, you know, what we do. That's why this is called the Weather Warfare Watch. Yeah, it's hard to wake people up, but we got to keep trying. I mean, we can't give up. The New World Order is going to ramp things up, man. I mean, it's coming up on an election year, so that's when it's going to get nuts, man. Everybody needs to stand their ground, armor up. So, yeah, I just wanted to see if these were pulsing out too much. We had a little bit of a flash. It could have been a solar farm or wind farm. You know, all these radars that have been upgraded, they're exactly a phased array antenna, just like Hart. Let me go ahead and show you one more thing. You can come over to Climate Viewer 3D, and you can see where all the ionospheric heaters are. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to put them on the map so you guys can see where some of them are. Change my base map here. Let's go over here to history and science. Let's go to the atmospheric sensors and EMF sites. And we're going to add on the ionospheric heaters. And we don't even need to add all these low frequency things. Got, you know, there's tons of maps that you can load on here. I like putting the VLF transmitters on here. Here's our super darns. All these affect the weather. That's probably good right there. I don't even have the VLF transmitters on here. Now everybody knows this one. You've seen it in the movies. This is a 200 megawatts. The Arecibo. This is the same thing that PG&E is beaming down from space. We got this one on the ground, pushing 200 megawatts. Well, PG&E is pushing down 200 megawatts from space, from their satellite. Look up Solarian, the Solarian company. Then you got one right down here. You got an ionospheric heater right down here in Peru. A scatter radar. You got, it's just a monster grid of antennas out here. This whole thing. You got a super darn. Scatter radar is just 4.5 megawatts. And we'll just zoom back out so you can see worldwide. And here's the crazy thing. They're going to build one up here in Norway. Now, Hart's the most powerful one right now. It's 5 gigawatts. Now, the one they're getting ready to build, the Wxxxx, is going to be 100 million gigawatts. I mean, they'll be able to move the jet stream with these. No problem. So all the red icons are the ionospheric heaters. Here's the one in Japan, 1.1 megawatt. You got one over here in India, 2.5 megawatts. You got one over here. This is in Russia. You got one up here, the Tromso. I mean, look at that thing, man. Look at this antenna array system. Most people do not know about this stuff. So here's the Tromso ionospheric heater. And like I said, they're getting ready to build the Wxxx that is just going to dwarf all these ionospheric heaters. You want to know why we're having compression events? This is why. They're all messing with the ionosphere worldwide. It's all complete control, and they don't want you to know this. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this a show. I want to thank everybody for sharing this information out. This is stuff people need to know, man. They need to get their nose out of their phone because they keep sitting on their ass. We're all going to be in for even a rougher ride. So time to rise. Anyway, guys, we're going to play a song called Rise. We'll play a couple songs on the way out here. I'll come join you in chat for a little bit, and I'll go over on D-Live, give away the treasure chest. Anyway, armor up, guys. Much love. Be safe. And be ready for anything, man. Head on a swivel. It's going to go down soon. Much love, guys. Yeah, the SBX-1, it's actually broke down right now. It's being repaired. Yeah, there's tons of ships with these on the ships. Anyway, guys, here we go. We'll catch you tomorrow night, God willing.